Good morning and welcome to today's devotional. Today we're in 1 Samuel 14, and we get to see a contrast begin to form between Jonathan, Saul's son, and King Saul. Jonathan, in the aftermath of this great kind of loss and demoralization of Israel's troops, Jonathan and his armor bearer go out to pick a fight with a Philistine outpost. Jonathan discerns that if when they see them they respond in the affirmative, then they should attack, and if they are passive, he is to nod. And indeed they see them and call them up and mock that Israelites seem to be coming out of their caves finally. And Jonathan, full of faith, believes that he and his armor bearer have had this Philistine outpost placed into their hands, really. And so they do. So Jonathan and his armor bearer, 2 verses, at least about 20, and Jonathan and his armor bearer are quite victorious. And as others see this fight going down in this Philistine outpost losing so badly, others begin to come out and join in, and the Philistine army continues to be flustered, and they even are accounted for killing themselves and each other. And so Jonathan wins this great victory in a time when Israel's armies were on their back foot. And Saul puts out an oath, a demand of his troops that none of them are to eat until later when revenge is had. And Jonathan, unaware of this, eats some lovely honey and is reprimanded by another soldier, and Jonathan thinks his father's oath is a little ridiculous and poorly done. Why would he want to hinder and weaken and dishearten his own troops? Later, Saul is trying to understand or to hear from God, and he cannot, and it is because somebody has sinned, has lied, has broken that oath that Saul made for everyone. And so Saul casts lots 2 times and finds out that it is Jonathan. Saul boasted earlier that whoever it was should be put to death, even his son, and here we see that coming into fruition. Saul says he can't go back on his oath, but the people around him decry that and say that the person who brought about this great victory shouldn't be harmed. And so Jonathan gets removed from that. And then we see Saul, from that point forward, being hyper-aggressive and vengeful against the Philistine army, waging war every chance he gets. And so we see Saul's inability to discern. We see his inability to seek counsel, to truly want to do the will of God. And then we see Jonathan, who is passionate and faithful and quite aggressive like his father, but going into battle with God. And so my takeaway from this is simply how Jonathan was surrounded by failure at this point. Jonathan was surrounded by people who were scared and hiding, by people who had lost faith, by people who family and friends and peers who couldn't muster up the courage. and he decides to walk out in faith to do the thing he feels called to do. Still discerning God, still not wanting to go on his own, but willing to take a leap of faith that those around him were not. And because of that, he had great victory. Because of that, God saved him from the consequences of his peers and his father. Would we be encouraged that even when it seems like our side is lost, when we're on our back foot, that all it takes is one step forward with God to achieve victory? May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. And today would you know his peace.